Time for the Friday edition of Litter Media Live. In studio with the icon Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey, and Aaron Glandon. Mr. Hand 2 is off to my immediate left, as he normally is.
So why did you go with blue today?
It was the last clean shirt I had in the closet.
Mike, you're wearing green.
No, I'm not. I am colorblind, but not that bad. Yeah, I think I said I haven't worn that one in a while. Let me try that, and how often it meshes up with you.
Yeah. Well, I've got them all lined up in
my radio wife, Dan Ramey. We just think alike, yeah.
Did you say stink alike?
Yeah, that too. That too. You get old.
I won't go that far.
When you get old, that happens too.
Yeah. Coming up later in the program today, we will have our Neil Coleman Insurance, Wyandotte Mutual, Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. So that'll be coming up during sports here this morning. This date in history takes us back to when?
Let's see, 1841.
All right, so that's well before our birth, and we had a lot of rain last night. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look. I was driving my detour after this rain that we had. Mm-hmm. It says 3 inches there, but we had just a touch over 1 inch from the night before, and I thought, I'm going to leave this and let it go and see how much we get total. Mm-hmm. You watch, Dan Jr. will probably come and empty it on me.
Yeah.
But I do know that at least through this morning we had 3 inches of rain for the 2 days. But you've always heard about Sunfish Creek and why 124 floods. This is it right here. This is not the creek. The creek is over along the right side of the picture here, which is where that water runs along the hill. But when it backs up, it goes all the way over to 124. And you always hear about the flooding there the south of Idaho Hill. Mm-hmm. And so I was taking my detour to get around the bridge that they're working on north of our house, and I came across this morning, and I had the drone with me, and I thought, I'm going to take an aerial shot. So this is what it looks like down in Pike County this morning. We know a number of areas in southern Ohio, as Mikaela Bruning was telling us a moment ago. She said we've been getting calls about flooding, high water here and there, all over District Number 9 of ODOT, and that's the counties from Adams County all the way over to here. So,
and that's unfortunately going to continue because rain remains in the forecast through Monday at least. Looking for 60 as a high today, bumps up to 73. There's a chance of maybe some severe weather back in the picture for tomorrow, so keep an ear and an eye out on that. Rain continuing on Sunday as the temperature jumps back down to 54 for a high. Rain and 53 on Monday. We might see some sunshine on. It's been so long I can't even say it. Sunshine. Tuesday and Wednesday, but the temperatures will drop even lower, 45 for a high. I did get my yard mowed when I got home. There was like literally only an hour window between showers, and I was able to get her in before the rain came back.
We have not got the mower out yet this year. And, of course, I don't live in a village like you do where people concern themselves with your lawn.
Well, this was getting so. If I had let this go any further, I would have probably had to get the bush hog out because when it starts pulling the mower down because the grass, you hit a tall spot, that's time to get it mowed. And thank the good Lord for helping me out yesterday.
That's when you cut in a lower gear to make sure that you don't tear up your belt. But, so there's a lot of stuff going on in the way of weather for us, and we'll continue to monitor that. Thank you, by the way, to my pastor's wife, Aletha Montgomery. I asked her, I said, hey, can I park in your driveway so I can take this drone shot this morning? And she says, yes, absolutely, go right ahead. So, and all that land that you saw in that visual, that used to be my wife's grandfather's land.
Wow.
Back in the day when they moved to Ohio from Kentucky. He bought, I don't know how many thousands of acres in Pike County. For those of you that are listening on Litter Media Radio and you want to see what we were just talking about, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch the Litter Media Live Daily Show that we have for Friday April 4th of 2025. Coming up in a moment, a look at news, sports, and this date in history. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389. When all the water recedes, perhaps you have a lot of cleanup from debris and everything. You need a dumpster for that. They can help you out. Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Give them a call at 740-253-8389.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. There they are, right there.
How's that
on
time
screen.
out that way?
I don't know. It just seems to work out that way. Their spring sales event continues, and if you can't mow right now because it's just too wet to do so. So head on in to Hometown Motors Incorporated, where they've got new riding tractors starting at $1699.99, new zero-turn mowers starting at $3399.99, new walk-behinds starting at $399.99. The new chainsaws, we've got trees that have fallen this week due to the storms. You need a new chainsaw, $279.99. Also new blowers starting at $199.99 and new trimmers starting at $229.99. Get ready for the mowing season, which is here already at Hometown Motors, your store for the outdoors. Hurry in while selection is still here, because at these prices, they'll be gone before you know it. Littermedia.com is where you can go to see some of the things that we're sharing with you today on this program. But you can also look back and see other things that we've talked about throughout the week. Maybe you missed some news stories, all at littermedia.com. Earlier today, Mikaela Bruning of ODOT District Number 9 was in studio with us to talk about the major project for the district, phases 1, 2, and 3 for the improvements on North Bridge Street here in Chillicothe. This is a 2-year project, and here's a look at some of the planned improvements. Adding a new northbound lane from Stewart Road to Pawnee Road. So that's on what would be the east side of North Bridge Street. Adding a new southbound drop lane to US 35, the west ramp, right there in front of what would be Comfort Inn. Add new Marietta Road access behind Applebee's and Raising Cane's. Add shared use path and sidewalks on both sides of the street where feasible, because there are no sidewalks to be able to walk through that area. Add a roundabout on Consumer Center Drive. I know that's already got people in an uproar. Add turn lanes and reconfigure Stewart and Consumer Center intersection, the westbound dual right turn lanes. Interchange ramp realignment, replace all of the interchange pavement with new 9-inch concrete, which is pretty cool. That's exciting to hear about. And all new traffic signal poles, lights, and signal control equipment at 7 intersections. Then will come aesthetic enhancements. They'll add pocket parks along the corridor for those who will be walking, the pedestrians. Paint the bridge railing, replace the poles and lights on the bridge, roundabout plantings, and add black steel fence, sandstone-looking retaining wall that'll be up against the on-ramp and off-ramp there at 35. You won't recognize the place in 2 years, but it is a hassle, and you got to show patience, and this project will be, they hope, completed by October of 2026. They will stop construction in October of 2025, so they're not going to be worrying about the holiday traffic and everybody trying to do shopping out on Bridge Street. So that was a concern they took into their planning phase of this. But this has been, 2 years in the planning?
Yeah.
And now, starting next week, you'll see lane reductions and things of that sort on Route 23 north. Used to be 23.
159.
But now it's 159.
159, 23 together.
Exactly. Patience, people. And you've already been using that with the barrels that are out on Business Loop 23 and 35 right through there. The Ohio Department of Transportation on a statewide has decided to launch a $3.2 billion construction season. That's $3.2 billion. This includes 955 projects. 38 of them are considered major with a value above $10 million across the state. Among projects is the US 33 and Pickerington Road interchange up in Fairfield County. In addition to the new projects starting this year, motorists will continue to see progress on the I-70-71 split through downtown Columbus and the I-270-70 interchange on the east side. South of Columbus, work continues on widening I-71 between the Franklin County line and State Route 323 over in Madison County, over in the London area. So a lot of work to be done, and I know when you drive through Columbus today and you're looking at that I-70-71 interchange, it just looks fantastic. Yeah. Once it's done, man, things are going to flow really well for the next, 50 years maybe.
And then they'll have to tie things up for that high-speed rail system.
Precisely, yeah.
Which I think they're still talking about that. Mm-hmm. Ohio University early childhood and elementary education students from the 5 regional campuses converged in Ohio's first capital yesterday to explore place-based learning opportunities in social studies through a student-planned tour of Chillicothe. Their tour started with a visit to Hopewell Culture National Historical Park, where Park Ranger Rain Stafford, a 2023 grad of Ohio University Chillicothe, shared information about educator career possibilities and resources for the classroom before giving the junior education majors a tour of the park. The Ohio History Day State Contest, an annual event affiliated with National History Day and coordinated by the Ohio History Connection, will be held this year, Saturday, April 26th at Capital University in Bexley. The nonprofit program empowers students from all backgrounds and abilities to tell stories from history that inspired them. This year's theme is Rights and Responsibilities in History. All students must qualify at their regional contest to advance to the state level, and then the national contest, June 8th through 12th, will be at the University of Maryland in College Park. Mm-hmm. Talking earlier about road reports, again a reminder, a lot of floods, situations out there on roads. Please never drive through running water. They've put out some social media over the last few days on, it only takes just, like 4 or 5 inches of water, running water, that can actually pick a car up and take it away. So don't do that. But along with that, road and median work is being done between U.S. Route 23 and 35 splits in Chillicothe. The first is located on the northeast side of the city and extends to exit 43B. And you can find all of the area road, not just in Ross County, but all of the surrounding counties in District 9 on our website story at littermedia.com. It's not a story, it's a page. It's a dedicated page.
One of the things that Mikaela had mentioned to us towards the end of her interview, and I failed to jot down the address, but if you want to look at that interview on our YouTube channel, she said there's a particular page you can go to that will give you up-to-date information on those projects. Yes.
OHGO, OGO.
So details, go check that out. All right, coming up in a moment to look at sports. But first, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is your trusted comfort advisor. They have been working on your heating and cooling issues and plumbing since 1977. You want to find out more about their service territory and their offices? Just click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it takes you to their website, accuratehvac.com. to learn more.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Intermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Intermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, oh, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming, he explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Time now for sports and a whole lot of baseball and softball action last night.
Not. But there were a couple of softball games that got played. Non-conference Westfall beat Grove City Christian 7-5, and the OCC Tays Valley walloped Reynoldsburg 22-2. And you say, well, how in the world could you have played tennis? Well, remember, Chillicothe has an indoor facility they can go to if it's raining. And the boys yesterday beat Miami Trace 5-0. One of those matches as a result of a forfeit. Now, it's on our website, but it's not on the screenshot. We did get a boys volleyball score early this morning. Chillicothe beat Grove City Volleyball Club in 3 sets, 25-17, 15, and 13.
And you're not kidding about early this morning because it was right after midnight.
Andrew Vidito always emails stuff at about 1:30 or 2. And
he's probably watching video. And
I'm not up that late, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Yeah, unless there's storms, certainly.
That's true.
The Reds, they lost this is since 1920. Mm-hmm. This is the 3rd consecutive game they've lost 1-0. And so after winning and scoring 14 runs on Monday, they have been limited to 4 hits, then 3 hits, and then last night 2 hits.
They and the 1960 Phillies are the only teams since 1920 that this has happened to.
So if it happens again tonight,
they stand one.
Yeah,
that's not a record that the Reds would like.
And the Reds have been getting pitching.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's like Mario Soto has pitched 3 straight games. He never seemed to get the run support that he always needed.
I just wonder how the pitcher's demeanor is in the clubhouse around the rest of the team when you just failed me again.
Yeah, you have to say, okay, there's 158 games left. We'll make this up because I'm probably not going to have a good night, and you guys will have to bail me out with a lot of hits.
That happens too. Yeah.
Guardians are in Anaheim tonight, so they'll continue to be on the West Coast after being swept by the Padres. Now they take on the Halos.
Yeah. The Avalanche in the NHL last night, they were a 7-3 winner over the Blue Jackets. And
the Blue Jackets are now 5 points out of the wild card. Mm-hmm. And you get 2 points for a win. You get a point for a tie. Yeah. So they only have 7 games left.
Yeah.
So
time's running out.
Yeah.
NCAA women's basketball Final Four gets underway tonight. Defending champ South Carolina meets Texas, followed by UCLA and UConn. And then the men's semifinal, Tomorrow, number 1 overall seed Auburn plays Florida, followed by Duke against Houston. And in the NBA, the Cavs are at San Antonio tonight.
Time now for our Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And this is Huntington's Seth Throckmorton, who had a 2-run walk-off home run in Huntington's 4-2 win over McLean earlier this week. So congratulations. And to nominate a player, here's all you need to do. Send us an email to littermedia@gmail.com. It's that simple. And make sure you tell us a little bit about why that player is being nominated as Player of the Week. And every Friday, we make that announcement, and at the end of the year, we will select a Player of the Year. So it could be your player. So make those nominations today. Coming up in a moment, we turn the Litter Media Wayback Machine dials to 1841. That's on the way next.
A short-lived presidency. There's no bill when there's a fill. Contact Litter Quality Propane about their metered gas service. That's litterpropane.com.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Wherever you are there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Haynes Total Health Care Center. I'll be seeing them this afternoon. I have to get my back cracked.
I can do that for you.
Not as well as Brandon can. He's certified. He has the word doctor involved in his name.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Mike Smith, not so much.
Not so much.
Chiropractic, physiotherapy, and nutrition needs. They've been taking care of this for more than 50 years now. If you click on this ad anywhere you see it on littermedia.com, it will take you to their website, hayneshealth.com. And you will not see Mike Smith's picture in with all the doctors.
Yeah.
So he's the doctor of history. So, kids, time for Dr. Smith with his story.
So you want to be president, huh? 1841, President William Henry Harrison of Ohio dies after serving only 32 days in office.
That was almost as long as his speech.
Just about. Harrison holds the unfortunate presidential record in shortest term in office. Ironically, the man with the shortest White House tenure delivered the longest inaugural address in history, which may have been his undoing. This first presidential speech, delivered on a bitterly cold March morning, clocked in at 1 hour and 45 minutes. I think Trump, in all seriousness, didn't he?
It was close.
Yeah, I think he gave that a run for the money. Harrison went to bed at the end of Inauguration Day with a bad cold that soon developed into a fatal case of pneumonia. Some historians have claimed that a case of hepatitis may have also contributed to his demise.
Old Hickory. You know, bullets and arrows could not bring him down, but pneumonia did.
Yeah, bad cold. William Henry
Politics
Harrison
took him down.
That's right.
Let's look at it that way.
Passed away. He counts as one of Ohio's 8 presidents, but not for very long.
Right. You can see William Henry Harrison in the productions of the Scioto Society's outdoor drama, Tecumseh. And back then, he was just a general.
Yeah, just a general.
Just a general. But he does play a very... And the guy who played him last year and the year before, I think was the same fella, he was fantastic. The best I had seen playing Harrison. So just my venture out there. By the way, Scioto Society has joined us with a sponsorship package, so you will be seeing more about Tecumseh and hearing more about Tecumseh throughout this year and year-round as well as some of the other events they've got going on. Ricky Skaggs is coming back.
Yeah.
My cousin from Kentucky. And we released this last week. Colin Swackhammer, Zane Trace graduate, will be playing Tecumseh this year.
Yeah.
So we might have him in studio. I do know that we will have Brandon Smith, the producer of Tecumseh, in again May 21st. And by that time, the actors will be rehearsing and getting ready for the show, which opens June 12th, I believe, this year. So if you want to find out more, just go to tecumsehdrama.com.
My memory jogged on a couple of things just before we went on the air this morning. Ross County Humane Society announcing they're closed for today. They said they had an unexpected event that came up, so they're just closing the office for today. And we want to wish one of our faithful listeners and viewers, Aaron's grandmother, my Aunt Ruth Glandon, happy birthday today.
Happy birthday, Aunt Ruth. Or should we say Grandma Ruth? Happy birthday, Grandma Aunt Ruth.
You better
Foofy.
say something. You better
Happy
say
birthday,
something.
Foofy.
I've already sung happy birthday to her over the phone, and I said, are you feeling sick? And she said, no, that was wonderful. So,
and we don't own the rights to the song,
That's
so we
true.
can't sing it
So I
here.
won't sing it again. Yeah.
Thank you for that. We should remind you that they have the Pinwheels event coming up here today. And don't forget, there's all kinds of stuff going on over the weekend. If you missed something we've talked about this week, you can always find it on our social media. And you can also look at littermedia.com for more details as well.
And another interview in a half an hour.
Yes. Coming up, it is Fairways for Friends. And that will be the Chillicothe First Capital Rotary Club's golf outing, which is coming up May 16th. So we'll have Robin Burno and Dave Pinkerton in to talk about that event coming up at noon. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will talk to you soon with another edition of Litter